Uncut, and I'm your host, the reflection of perfection, and your number one selection, John Arhitis. And of course, we're talking about the latest and greatest in Hudson County news. Got quite a few things happening in the Mile Square City. First of all, in an exclusive, I reported on Monday that a New Jersey Office of Administrative Law judge, that's Susana Guerrera, issued a decision earlier this month that said a former fire chief needs to be fully reinstated. So this is pretty catastrophic. This is pretty gigantic, whatever adjective you like to use, but this is something that I've never seen before in 13, 14 years of doing this. Now, of course, the final decision doesn't rest with a judge, so we'll elaborate on what's going on there, but I think it's extremely interesting, so I think you want to hear about that one if you haven't already. And sticking with the Mile Square City, actually yesterday we saw a number of labor leaders as well as political officials, elected officials. They gathered right across the street from the Hoboken University Medical Center, and we're still talking about the future of CarePoint Health. Things still are a bit uncertain, and people want answers, which of course we can't fault them for. So we're going to talk about everything that happened over there in Church Square Park. Also going to chat a little bit about the Western Edge. I mean, when it rains, it pours, folks. Hoboken's having a tough week. On top of what I just mentioned, a group of property owners, one from Union City and one from Hoboken, are now suing the city over that Western Edge settlement. And also, later on, I'm going to be sitting down and speaking with the Republican nominee for Congress in the 8th District. That's Anthony Valdes. All that and a whole lot more right after this word from our sponsors.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Hudson County View live and Uncut, John Arhitis. So first, let's talk about this situation with the former Hoboken fire chief, that's Brian Crivens. Now, you guys may recall, quite some time ago, he was put on leave. That was administrative leave in May 2021. And as I first reported, he came back to work as a firefighter, the lowest rank possible, of course. That was April 2023. And that was right after he was served a final notice of disciplinary action by the city on March 28th of 2023. So he came back to work about a week later, and he's been sitting at the lowest rank for all that time now, over a year, close to a year and a half. And we heard this decision from Susana Guerrera. It was a long decision, 39 pages, a lot of allegations here. Bottom line, she says Hoboken did not do the right thing. They did not implement the appropriate discipline, and that Crivens needs to be reinstated as fire chief. Now, the ultimate decision, as I have noted in the story and elsewhere, is going to come down to the New Jersey Civil Service Commission, but it's extremely rare that they go against a judge's recommendation. So the important, pertinent information, I think, is right here. And looking at the decision, it says, it is ordered that the action of the respondent to demote the appellant to the rank of firefighter is reversed and that he be reinstated to the position of fire chief. It is further ordered that the appellant be issued a written warning and that he attend a communication and leadership training program or other training program recommended by the Civil Service Commission. I hereby file my initial decision with the Civil Service Commission for consideration, as I just said. So obviously this is a pretty wild situation. Again, not one that I have ever encountered in my years. And if you look at the FDNA, again, final notice of disciplinary action, there was a lot of big and bold allegations being made. And for example, there was a failure to hold frequent command staff meetings. These are all allegations. Making a litany of false statements to colleagues, targeting Battalion Chief Mario Fidi, altering an emergency order, and creating a hostile work environment. And overall, Guerrero largely ruled in Crimmins' favor. I'm not going to get into all the particulars here. It's a bit in the weeds, to say the least, but I think most importantly, out of everything I just told you, Guerrero only ruled against Crimmins in two instances, and one was kind of with an asterisk next to it. And the reason that I say that is because he did alter an emergency order in 2019 when he was on duty as chief for less than a year. And that involved Office of Emergency Management talking to fire dispatch directly, and she decided. But what had happened was he actually rescinded the order within 2 weeks. So she's like, well, technically he broke the rules, but by the time that he made the change, it didn't really make a difference on firefighter or public safety operations. The other thing was she did say he failed to hold quarterly command staff meetings, but that was in 2018, early 2019. Again, very early on in his tenure as fire chief. But obviously that's not something that was particularly pertinent to this complaint. So, I heard from Crimmins in a statement, and he said, I am grateful that the court has carefully reviewed all the facts and determined that I did not commit the acts alleged by the city of Hoboken. The court's decision to reinstate me as fire chief of the Hoboken Fire Department reaffirms my faith in the justice system and the importance of fairness and due process. Now, of course, the city is not so happy about this, or at least not as happy, and they basically told me, and I'm paraphrasing, but spokeswoman Marilyn Barr said that the civil service has not rendered a commission, and final briefs on the matter are due tomorrow, October 24th, and they're not going to comment until there's a ruling. Again, it would be really, really surprising if the commission went against the judge's recommendation, but that's what we're going to find out perhaps as soon as tomorrow, so I'm going to stay on this. And let's talk CarePoint for a moment. So, we've talked about this so many times now for the past probably 6 to 8 weeks, and still there's not a lot of clarity on what's going to be happening. I mean, we've heard about this possible situation where the hospital system gets split up, where Hudson Regional Hospital runs the Bayonne Medical Center, and then Christ Hospital and Hoboken University Medical Center are run by Insight Health. But that all seems to be up in the air. Nothing seems to be certain. And hearing from labor leaders and employees yesterday, again, at Church Square Park in Hoboken, it doesn't sound like they have any clarity on what's happening, and they're starting to get really frustrated and upset by that, as you can imagine. So take a look here. You've heard the issue. Here, CarePoint has received a lot of money from the state of New Jersey, and now they're in trouble again. We've heard this story. We've seen this movie before. I really think it's time for the state intervention to come in here and do a forensic audit of where all this money has gone. And this is New Jersey State AFL-CIO President Charles Wowokinich. Now, he said it's a shame that not only do our nurses and the other professionals that work in the hospital have to suffer through this, these are the same people that only 2 years ago stayed here around the clock to make sure that this hospital stayed open and all the residents were taken care of. And CarePoint, this is a nice way of saying thank you. I think the present CEO of the hospital should resign immediately. Obviously not pulling any punches on that. And don't forget, more notices were issued by the hospital last month, and that basically means there's potential for layoff. That's 2,602 workers across the 3 hospitals. Certainly that's important. And, I've also reported, and others have reported, that Hoboken Mayor Ravi Bala, Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop, now on the CarePoint board. And when they talked throughout this presser, we heard that since Thursday, where they weren't initially allowed at the meeting, they were allowed to sit in on subsequent meetings on Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, and they had one right before the actual presser began. And there's a lot of other officials there. We heard from Hudson County Commissioners Bill O'Day and Anthony Romano, Assembly members Jessica Ramirez and John Allen of the 32nd Legislative District, Hudson County Register Jeff Dublin, First Ward Councilman Paul Presenzano, and more. So I'll let you guys check that out if you haven't had a chance yet. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, I'll be sitting down with Republican nominee for Congress in the 8th District, Anthony Valdes.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hudson County View, live on Uncut, John Arhitis, and as I mentioned a few moments ago, today my guest is 8th District Congressional nominee, Anthony Valdes. Anthony, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. So now look, I actually live in the 8th District, as you probably know, and I talk to a lot of neighbors, residents in that district, and look, Menendez won a really tough primary, very expensive primary. It was probably neighborhood $5.5–6 million all in.
Yeah.
He still has a bank account in the six figures. He's the incumbent, one of the bluest districts in this country, probably not just the state. So why bother to put yourself out there when you can't match those kind of resources?
You know what? That's the number one question I get all the time. And quite honestly, listen, I know my chances are against me. I know the chances are against me, the odds are against me. But you know what? Like a lot of Americans today, I'm running because I'm fed up. I'm just disgusted with the incompetency and the nonsense in our nation's capital. We're supposed to be the United States of America, the strongest, richest, most powerful country in the world. And sometimes, right now it doesn't really feel like it. We have all these issues, inflation, southern border crisis, drug trafficking, gun trafficking, human trafficking, spike in crime, all these things. We're on the brink of World War III, and all these instead of helping the American people who are really struggling right now with inflation, Congress has decided to send hundreds of billions of dollars to other countries while we suffer here, and that's why I'm running. I'm the common man for the common people. I'm not a politician. I mean, you've known me a long time.
I have.
I'm not a rich businessman. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm none of those things. Just a guy. I'm the common man for the common people. That's my slogan.
Fair enough. Now, all right, so you touched on pretty much every national issue there is.
Yeah.
So, let's start at the top. So you said inflation.
Yeah.
Certainly people complain about groceries.
Yeah.
I don't always love the price I see at the gas station side when I fill
Yeah.
up my tank. But, look, if you were in Congress, what could you really personally do about inflation?
Well, one congressman can't really do much, but as a whole, if we were to keep the House and, flip the Senate, I do believe, it's like President Trump says, we need to be American energy independent again. What does that mean? I know the environmentalists aren't going to like this. We need to start drilling for more oil, more gas, more coal. And once we bring American energy and those prices down across the board, we can start investing in real renewable, clean, and sustainable energy. And, I really believe that's the only way to do it.
So you don't think solar, wind, or any of that is going to take us anywhere? in the long-
Eventually. But the problem is, in my opinion, we don't have the infrastructure currently for that. We don't have the electrical grid. If we were to try to just go electric on everything right now, you'd have blackouts everywhere. You can't just flip a switch at the moment. That's why I said we need to start producing more energy than anybody in the world. We could put Russia's energy out of business, China, Venezuela, and then, like I said, bring prices down across the board, and then start investing in real clean energy.
Okay. And, of course, you just said we're on the brink of World War III. Some people agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't know what military experts would say, but obviously there has been like a lot of conflicts, of course, most notably in Gaza, but, of course, in Ukraine as well.
Yeah.
And those tensions obviously aren't really simmering much. So, what do you do? How do you fix that? It seems like a pretty untenable situation across the board.
Well, like I said before, one congressman isn't going to be able to do anything. But like I said before, again, I'm probably in the minority here in Hudson County, but if Trump was still president, these things wouldn't be happening right now. We need to bring him back to bring peace back to the world. When he was here, we had peace. All right? And the biggest problem, I think, is that we're sending so much money to these other countries to, for example, the war between Israel, Palestine, that war has been going on for, 70 years? I feel we cannot continue to fund foreign wars with American taxpayer dollars. If they want to fight each other, by all means, go ahead. It might be a radical view. I don't think it is. I think it's a common sense view. I think a lot of Americans have that view today.
I think they do too.
Yeah.
So if there was a bill and you were sitting in the House and it said you were voting to cut off funding to munitions, arms, whatever you want to call it, to Gaza, you would vote yes.
Well, I can't give you that. I would probably lean towards yes. Depends what's in the bill. Like any other bill, like look at the border bill that they say Republicans killed. But the truth of the matter is there's always a bunch of other fluff in there, a bunch of other things in these bills that ultimately get shot down because of the other things. Listen, I want the killing to stop. I don't want wars. I think you show power through strength, not necessarily military force. But if push came to shove, listen, we need to start helping the American citizens in this country, not citizens halfway around the world. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. A lot of people feel that way.
All right, point taken. Don't go anywhere, Anthony. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're just going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
No one plans on heart disease, but everyone should have a plan for it. We help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. We offer convenient screenings without judgment, hundreds of preventive programs, and women's heart specialists. And we're the largest cardiac surgery program in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and launch inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Hudson County View live and uncut. John Arhitis, and I'm still here with 8th District nominee for Congress, and that's Anthony Valdes. So, you also mentioned at the top of the interview, you mentioned border. And I mean, of course, this is something that both parties have been talking about for decades. Doesn't look like we made a lot of progress under either president, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
Or either party, excuse me. So, I mean, what do you do? I mean, what's the answer here?
Well, first of all, I am the son of immigrants. My parents came here in the 1960s. I understand, listen, I feel for the people that come to this country. I understand they come for a better way of life. I understand that. There are a percentage that come here just to reap benefits. And, you know, look what's happened on the streets of New York. Listen, I'm not saying deport everybody. No, I think the right thing to do would be deport the criminals that have come here illegally and give working papers to those who really want to better their lives and their families. I don't think anything really needed to be done. I think the Biden-Harris administration dropped the ball big time with the southern border. I mean, they didn't really need to do anything, just enforce the laws in place. That's all they need to do. The big issue with immigrants, what is it, like 20 million, maybe 20 million have come in? They say 20 million have come in illegally. You know, they've been taken to our biggest cities, and a lot of those cities are in financial crisis because of it. You know, it's taken away from social services, it's taken away from police response, EMS, fire. The school systems are overcrowded because you can't deny a child an education. So it's becoming a big problem. It's also taken away from labor unions across the country who are losing work to these migrants who have come here illegally because they'll do the job a lot cheaper. They might not do it as well, but they will do it cheaper. Is there an answer? Yeah, it's secure the border and finish building the wall. I think it's that simple.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess the only point that I'll add there is, again, neither party has seemed to make any progress on this wall in the past couple decades.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
but
yeah.
I mean,
like I said, both sides. They add, like I said, they add things to the bill and add, and it never passes because they keep. I mean, I like to stick to one thing at a time, but these career bureaucrats, politicians, they like to throw all these other things.
It would be nice if a bill was just what the title said. I agree with you on that,
Correct?
for sure.
Yeah.
Now, something that when you saw me just a couple blocks from home in the Heights in May, I believe there was that candidate forum, and I think something that surprised a lot of people in that room, can't speak for everyone, of course, but that you said that you were pro-choice. So just wanted to bring that up again.
I am pro-choice. I mean, like I said, I'm not one of these super right-wing conservatives. I'm a moderate by nature. I think most people are moderate by nature, whether they lean to the left or the right. I mean, I lean to the right. I am pro-choice. I don't believe I have the say on what to tell a woman to do with her body. That's her decision. I actually said we need to expand it, actually, in an interview. I do believe that. I really believe that. I believe in a woman's right to choose, and it's not me, you, or anybody else has that right to tell her what to do.
All right. Now,
I know it sounds funny coming from a Republican.
I can't imagine that that's going to help your vote total, but I respect you for sticking to your guns.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, that ideology is changing within the Republican Party. It really is. I'm not saying, late term, 9-month abortion.
Right,
I'm not saying that. That's murder, in my opinion. But that ideology is changing within the Republican Party.
Understood. And something else that stuck out to me at that was there was a question, of course, on the Second Amendment, guns rights. Where do you stand on that? How about this? Should we have automatic weapons available to purchase?
I am a pro Second Amendment guy. It's a slippery slope. I personally think every law-abiding citizen should have a gun. They should have the right. I know there's people out there who are mentally unfit, career criminals. Yes, I think we do need further background checks. Automatic weapons, I have no problems with them, none whatsoever. It's in the Second Amendment.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess there's not too many practical uses for a firearm, like occupationally, unless like you're law enforcement or like you're a hunter, right?
Correct.
So, a lot of people make the argument if you just have access to a few kinds of pistols and a few kinds of rifles, that should cover bases. I mean, so what do you think of that point of view?
I mean, if I were in some miracle to win, I mean, I'm open to any discussion with the other side. I don't have an issue. I could have an honest and common sense discussion. I wouldn't have an issue with it.
All right. Now, look, we're short on time, but want to give you a chance to close. So, you're a guy, West New Yorker for life, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And you've run for town commissioner, you've run for your local board of ed, it hasn't worked out. Now you're going for one of the biggest seats in the country. Why should people give you a chance in a district where the odds are clearly stacked against you?
Well, like I said before, listen, I've been a public servant for over 13 years now. I'm a state employee. I'm an inspector. I work on the streets of Newark. No career politician in D.C. is going to try to intimidate me. I'll tell you that. But I think I do speak Spanish. I'm Hispanic. I know what it is to be poor. I know what it is to struggle. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. So I know what it takes to better yourself, and I know what the people need. I mean, like, for example, like West New York needs more parking. The county in general needs, more affordable housing, more social services. As a Republican, that's not something most Republicans would say, more government. But I understand we live in the most densely populated area in the whole country. I mean, we have 4 of the top 10. We have the top four most densely populated municipalities in the whole country. We got Gothenburg, Hoboken, West New York, Union City, and people. There's just not enough to go around, unfortunately.
Anthony, gotta let you go.
All
We're out
right,
of time.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its 2 newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Panepinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panepintodevelopment.com. Panepinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hudson County View live on Uncut, John Arhitis. So, still got a couple more things. One more out of Hoboken. So, talking about the Western Edge, as I reported earlier this month, there's already another lawsuit with Union City suing the city of Hoboken over this settlement over in the northern end of the city. Now, the Western Edge, as you guys know, it's been talked about the lawsuit's been ongoing for 3 years. Pegasus Partners via a subsidiary, which is just Block 112. They've had this lawsuit against the city. We remember that the council voted on it, and the mayor basically said this is a wonderful thing, and then reneged, and things basically they went to hell. I don't know what else to call it. And now we got these partial settlements last month, And all these Union City attorneys came out and said, we don't agree with this. This is a terrible settlement, so on and so forth. So the city is now suing. And now the second part, we have this nonprofit. It's called the Palisades Cliffs Protection Alliance, Inc. And as far as the lawsuit explains, there's only two members of that. It's a Union City property owner and a Hoboken property owner that are not named. And they're basically saying this lawsuit, these settlements for that aforementioned lawsuit had enormous quantitative changes that had 600 additional units, which would make it 1,301 total. They'd get 5 additional stories, and also the community givebacks would be decreased by $5 million. So all in, they think that these settlements, which they contend are illegal, would have had a value of $53 million for Pegasus partners. So, whether or not that's true, I can't definitively tell you, but I can tell you that sitting right here, as I just was over there at Hudson Media Group, and I spoke with Councilman Phil Cohen, the 5th Ward representative, this project's in his ward, he did talk a little bit about this. Remember, he said, and you could look at the tape if you're so inclined, he noted that counsel for the Hoboken City Council said that the city would be on the hook for tens of millions of dollars of potential exposure, meaning legal exposure, if they didn't settle. Now they're going to have these two cases running almost concurrently. I mean, they were only filed a couple weeks apart. Who knows where it's going to go? There was an agenda item on the western edge for the Hoboken City Council this evening. I'm understanding is it's on the agenda right now, and they're anticipating a vote, so let's see if they follow through, if they decide to pull this thing. Now, actually, there's another one on Hoboken. I'm not going to get too into it. We're short on time, but spoke to Miles Square Taxpayers Association Executive Director Ron Simon-Seedy, and we've heard a lot from Mayor Bala, from Councilman Cohen, from these housing groups talking about how this rent control referendum is going to leave people homeless and it only helps greedy landlords, so on and so forth. You guys have been reading, you guys have been watching. When I spoke with Mr. Simon-Seedy, he gave me some interesting commentary that included it doesn't eliminate rent control, it saves it. And if you guys click on that story, you saw that I copy and pasted verbatim what the rent control question says and what you're voting on. An important referendum by any stretch, regardless of how you feel, in the Miles Square City. So quickly, heading to Jersey City on a couple things. Jersey City Council has been talking for over a year about putting a cap on their cannabis dispensaries. Now, they wanted to do a citywide cap of 48, which is pretty generous. I think most people would agree. Though it really would have been 67 because 19 would have been grandfathered in, and the council basically said this is too convoluted. We don't know where we're going. We got to give this further review. So even though it's been over a year, they decided to table that. So not sure where that's going to go. And we'll call this just a public alert, public service announcement, I guess you could call it. Assemblywoman Jessica Ramirez, of course, of the 32nd Legislative District, along with Women Rising, is going to host a domestic violence resource seminar. That's in Jersey City. That's going to be at the Five Quarters Library Auditorium, 678 Newark Ave. That's 1 week from today, Wednesday, October 30th at 11 a.m. With that, folks, we're going to call it a week. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.